Into the Storm is a deep and haunting novel by Cecelia Ahern that weaves a tale of trauma, healing, and rediscovery of self, set against the backdrop of the rugged, stormy landscapes of rural Ireland. The protagonist, Dr. Enya Pickering, is an emergency surgeon stuck in a stagnant life and an emotionally cold marriage. Her world is thrown into disarray one night when she saves a teenage boy found on a stormy, deserted road after a brutal hit-and-run accident. This incident serves as the catalyst for a series of events that force Enya to confront long-buried emotions and deep-seated fears. Enya, who once thrived in her career and personal life, feels emotionally drained and trapped, particularly in her relationship with her husband, Peter, a man as distant and controlling as the life Enya has found herself living. The storm, both literal and metaphorical, becomes a symbol of the inner turmoil that Enya must face. After saving the boy's life, she is drawn to leave her life behind temporarily and seek refuge in a remote Irish town, where she embarks on a journey of self-discovery and healing. In the town, Enya befriends a number of locals who, each in their way, contribute to her healing process, whether by forcing her to confront her fears, helping her gain perspective, or providing comfort during her personal storm. These relationships are pivotal in her internal transformation as she struggles with guilt, regret, and her feelings of failure in both her career and personal life. At the heart of the novel is Enya's need to find herself again and to understand the balance between her identity and the role she feels trapped in as a wife and doctor. The psychological drama is heightened by the vivid descriptions of the storm that serves as a recurring motif. The storm represents not only the chaos in her external world but also the internal storms of grief, unresolved trauma, and the overwhelming need to change her life. As Enya grapples with her past and future, the reader is pulled into the emotional depths of her struggles, making her journey as much about survival as it is about acceptance and renewal. Analysis of Into the Storm. 1. Themes of emotional turmoil and healing. The central theme in Into the Storm is emotional turmoil, represented by both the physical storm and Enya's psychological state. Enya is a complex character, one who feels stuck and disconnected from her past, struggling to make sense of her life choices. Ahern uses the storm as a powerful metaphor for this turmoil. Just as the storm disrupts the physical world around Enya, her inner world is similarly shattered, and she must find a way to rebuild her sense of self. The book deftly explores themes of grief, personal loss, guilt, and the emotional scars left by traumatic events. Throughout the novel, Ahern shows how healing can be slow and painful. Enya's journey is not one of instant recovery, but rather of incremental steps toward understanding her own emotions. The remote Irish town becomes a place of refuge, where the quiet isolation contrasts with the chaos in her mind, allowing her to reflect on her past decisions and rediscover her own desires. 2. Character development. Enya's transformation. Enya's character arc is central to the narrative. At the beginning of the novel, she is portrayed as emotionally repressed and unable to break free from the suffocating grip of her life with Peter. Her professional success as a doctor contrasts with her personal failure to find happiness, highlighting the dichotomy between outward appearances and inner fulfillment. Ahern portrays Enya's transformation with subtlety, illustrating how her interactions with the people in the town slowly chip away at the emotional barriers she has erected over the years. A key aspect of Enya's development is her gradual understanding that healing does not necessarily mean returning to who she once was, but rather accepting her current self and forging a new path forward. The storm, in its relentless nature, forces Enya to face her fears head-on, and her survival, both literal and metaphorical, is tied to her ability to adapt and embrace change. Symbolism of the storm. The storm in the novel is one of the most important symbols, representing both chaos and renewal. It is during the storm that Enya first encounters the injured boy, an event that forces her to leave the confines of her old life and embark on a journey of self-exploration. The storm mirrors Enya's inner turmoil, and its recurrence throughout the book serves as a reminder of the unpredictability and uncontrollable nature of life. Ahern skillfully uses the storm to reflect Enya's emotional states, whether it's the brewing tension in her marriage, her frustrations with her past choices, or the flashes of hope she experiences as she starts to rebuild herself. Just as the storm eventually passes, Enya's emotional storm calms as she finds peace and clarity in the aftermath of her journey. 4. Exploration of relationships. The novel also explores the various relationships Enya forms and how they influence her emotional healing. Her marriage to Peter is strained and devoid of passion, a reflection of her inner sense of loss. The people she meets in the small town provide contrast to this, showing her different forms of love, friendship, and community support. These relationships, though secondary to the main plot, play a crucial role in helping Enya regain her confidence and sense of purpose. Ahern shows how relationships can either drain or rejuvenate, with Peter representing a kind of emotional stasis while the locals offer new beginnings and the potential for personal growth. 5. Redemption and self-discovery. At its core, Into the Storm is about redemption, particularly the redemption of Enya's self-image. She enters the novel as a woman disconnected from her inner desires, but through her journey, she begins to reclaim parts of herself that were lost to her marriage and career. Her self-discovery is not without pain or sacrifice, but the novel emphasizes the importance of confronting one's past in order to create a better future. The novel ends on a note of hope, as Enya finds the strength to redefine her life on her own terms, symbolizing a victory over the storm that once seemed all-consuming. Conclusion. Into the Storm is a richly layered psychological drama that delves into themes of emotional recovery, self-discovery, and personal transformation. Cecelia Ahern's use of vivid imagery, particularly the storm, adds depth to the narrative and makes Enya's journey compelling. The novel's exploration of relationships, healing, and the passage through personal turmoil resonates deeply, making it a poignant story about survival, change, and the human capacity to endure.